What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Strong Family Money Show. My name is Andres. Thanks for coming back. On this vlog, we talk about your fitness, your fatherhood, and your finances, and how you can improve them to make yourself a better dad for your family and provide more for them. So I understand that today is the 20th of September. Depending on when I publish this, we may or may not still be in the pandemic lockdown or whatever phase we are in. Prior to that, and once all that's taken care of, so right now we're in 2020, right? And we'll say prior to the middle of March 2020, whenever I heard people saying, I need more money, I don't make enough money, it was amazing to me why they would say that. It being 2020, or depending on when we get back going again, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do on your own, right, that you don't need an employer for, right? So depending on how much work you're going to put in, and that's with any job, right? What you get in return depends on what you put in. It being 2020 and the gig economy being in full swing, at any time, so let's say you need to make a couple of extra bucks, $100 bucks, $200 bucks, $300 a week extra, right? Let's say you need that much a week, 200 bucks a week extra. Your 9 to 5 isn't cutting it. They don't give you overtime, which is probably the first thing I would do if I was looking for extra cash. If my job offers me overtime, I would not deny it. You do not want to turn down money. As a provider, you do not want to turn down money. It's great to spend time with your family, right? Everyone says happiness, you can't buy happiness, right? I don't know, I've never been rich enough to know if I can buy happiness or not, right? So you don't want to turn money down. If your employer offers overtime, that is where I would start. So let's say you need a couple of extra bucks a week. We're in the gig economy, 2020. What do you do, right? So I've compiled a list of things you can do aside from your 9 to 5 job that are flexible to make more money for your family. So first and foremost, we have food delivery services. Everyone's involved in them. I think most people probably do it incorrectly. I think most people, so if you're going to treat this as, you can treat this as, I'm going to make a couple of extra bucks for my family, but you also have to treat this as, this is a real business and I'm going to do all I can to make the most money I can. I think that's where the disconnect is. People treat it as a part-time job, and they think about it as a part-time job, and they're not serious on how they attack it, right? So we have food delivery, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash. At the recording of this video, those are the 3 major ones. We can probably, Postmates is in there also, but they are more of a concierge service. But anyway, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, right? Especially right now, I mean, people do not want to leave their house. People are afraid to go out, even in normal times. People do not want they want convenience, and all of these apps that make you money are, for convenience, because people don't want to go and pick up their own stuff. They want someone to bring it to them, and people have found out how to make a extra buck out of that. So you can and you can tell what hours other food delivery people like. And it would be best for you not to get those hours, to get hours that they don't like doing, that make the most money, later in the evening, on the weekends. And by no means, when I say flexible, is it going to be flexible on your end as convenient, but flexible as, when you, one, have the time to do it and it's profitable for you, that's when you do it. So you can be a food delivery driver, 20 hours a week, and really hit it hard, and always be available, and always want to get as many pickups as you can, and you can probably make a pretty good buck to supplement your income doing that. This should be never beneath you to work to make money for your family. Next we have, if you have, there are requirements for this next one. You can be a driver for like Uber and Lyft. They have car requirements. I would suggest, if you are going to be an Uber or Lyft driver, depending on the state of the economy or the state of, how, so certain states are going to try and get rid of them, but anyway, that's another discussion. But if you're going to be a Lyft driver, you want to be very, you want to be like the taxi driver that's more like a limo driver, right? So I've gotten in a few Ubers where the person really doesn't carry good conversation, and their car could use it. If driving is your profession, you want to make sure your car is in good working condition and neat and clean, and you want to be able to carry a conversation with your passengers. And it's a very important skills to have when you're doing that, because that then translates into your rating. Most importantly, it translates into your tip, which is above the ride cost, right? I'll use a bartender as an example. Bartender that, you get there, they say ask you how you're doing, how your day was. They have, conversation to share with you. They want to see what you're up to, even though it's the first time they meet you. They carry on a conversation. They attend to you very well. They come check on your drink often. They're there when you have a question about the area. If you go to a bar or a hotel and you go to the hotel bar, hey, where are the places to go and hang out? They have an answer, right? As opposed to the grumpy old guy who just throws the beer from the end of the bar and doesn't ever visit you, right? Which one's going to get the bigger tip, right? Same thing when you want to do probably any of these that have the option of someone tipping you. If you're a Uber driver or whatever, you carry on a conversation. I would be up on all current events that are pretty vanilla that no one will get offended about. You want to make sure your car's clean and air freshener, nothing too offensive. Again, pretty plain. But you definitely want to be nice and smile and how's your day and can I help you answer any questions, right? And then you might be able to get a couple of extra bucks out of the person at the end of your trip. Same thing with, I've had food delivered and the person just basically hands me the bag of food and leaves. A couple of sentences, how's your day? Enjoy your food. Thanks for using the service. Hope you have a nice meal. Stuff like that, translates into someone being nice and like, hey, this guy was pretty cool. Let me give him a couple of extra bucks. But again, driving for Uber, you want to find, I think there are apps out there that let you know when people don't want to drive because it's either too busy or they get the weird people. But depending on how much you can handle attitude wise from people, you might want to get airport runs or after concerts or stuff like that. So you want to plan your days where you can get the most bang for your buck. Unless you want to do like a lot of volume, then you can do that. Somebody got a new toy in the neighborhood, like riding it around. You can, and probably the most, so there's delivering things, number 3, right? Postmates is in there, which is like, get me a gum, get me a soda, you don't want to leave your house. TaskRabbit, there's another one, probably the same thing. Probably the most profitable one that you can probably turn into a bigger business is delivering for Amazon. So they, depending on what level of service you want to give, you can either just be a driver, or sometimes they if you want to start your own quote-unquote company where we'll pay you to start up a company, you have more responsibility, right? You can probably then parlay that into making a bigger company out of it, more rides. You put the money for other vehicles that you then have other people drive for you. But driving for Amazon, they're always threatening to go private from the postal service. So who knows when that will ever really happen. But driving for Amazon, probably something you can, after a while you get the experience of setting up a route and all that stuff. You could probably then transition that somehow down the line into some other venture that requires delivery service, and you can get away from there and probably make your own business. But delivering from Amazon is probably something you can make a really good business. Freelancing, if you have a skill that you can use outside of your 9-to-5, right? If you're a copywriter, if you're a programmer, you know, people are always looking for like HR people if they don't want to hire a full-time HR person. So, you know, sites like Fiverr and Upwork and Simply Hired, right? They, you know, if you have a skill that somebody requires, graphic design, video editing, right? If you have a 9-to-5 where you work and you have hours that you can then devote to doing other people's work outside, you know, sites that hire freelancers is something for you to, you know, one, you get extra money, two, you might actually find another source of income or another employer that's better than the one you have. You know, if the startup needs an HR person but they don't want to hire a full-time one, then eventually they get more money and they need to hire somebody, right? And they know who you are, you know, why wouldn't they look for you as someone to hire for their company? So if you're a freelancer, there are a lot of, and you might not even need those sites to get more work. You might be able to do some sort of website or social media, whatever, to get extra work and get your name out there, portfolio or whatever, if you're like a graphics person. So tips so you have those categories and those sites that you can visit to you know, get some work. And you know, here are a few tips that I came up with to help you, and you should treat it like a business. Set up your business of freelancing or using gig economy sites to make a couple of extra bucks. So number one is I would set business hours, and not in the sense of, you know, how other people see you as being at work for this part of your income. Set business hours that you personally were then go out and look for work, right? You were going to say, during these times, every day and on the weekend, all the time, I'm now going to devote these times to whatever my gig economy task is, right? And you're always going to work during those times, right? You want to set a monetary goal. You say every week I got to make 300 bucks, right? And you want to then adjust your time, whatever, step one, business hours, adjust them accordingly so that you meet your goal. Number three, you might want to diversify, right? If you're going to drive, you know, why wouldn't you drive Uber/Lyft and then also do Grubhub, Postmates, whatever, right? On also, if you're going to be out in the street anyway, why wouldn't you do all that, right? Or if you're going to, you know, you're going to be on the freelancing site, right? You know, if you are a graphic designer, right, but you also know some other skill, right? Why wouldn't you say, you know, this profile I'm getting this work, this profile I'm getting this work, right? You want to diversify where you get your money from, so that because there are other people out there doing this, you want to have as many pokers in the fire as you can. And you want to always be on the lookout for the next thing, right? So you want to be first to react to whatever new service is out there that, you know, of course, is in line with your skill set or whatever, your time, right? You always want to be on the lookout for meet up with one of the first people that signs up, because they may have perks, they may have priorities, whatever, right? You always want to be on the lookout for the next best thing. So, you know, this is, you know, it's technically a side hustle, but you want to treat it as a business because you want to be serious about it, and you want to make sure you devote enough time to it so you can be the most successful, right? Because this money that you're gonna get is gonna be to support your family. Should not be income that you would say is, you know, I'm always gonna count on this income, because it could fluctuate, but it definitely is something you should devote time to on a regular basis, so you can you know, have that extra income coming in, because that's always a good thing. So there you go. Gig economy tips. You're looking to make a couple extra bucks, right? Those are a few ways to do it. I'm sure there are more. If you know of anything else, you can comment down below. My name is Andres. This is a Strong Family Money Show. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys next time.